Useful grammar versus not so useful grammar. This video is by request. I had a few complaints recently that I was posting too much beer vocab. But I like beer. And I like drinking. But yeah, I did ask for some input, and I got some interesting responses, and I wanted to share one of them right now. More grammar. Now, I don't generally teach grammar. I follow the philosophy of some of the famous Instagrammers like English with Danella. Ooh. I've followed her Instagram from the beginning. I actually like the way she teaches. She's a bit chaotic with her posts and the way she introduces language to people. But the methodology is correct. She teaches language the way children learn languages. Children don't study grammar when they're 3 years old. They just pick up vocab, repeat it, and try to make sense of the words they're hearing. And that's what you should be doing with your second language, which is probably English. So here's the grammar point. The most useful grammar point anyone could ever ask a teacher to clarify. It's so important. This is going to make or break your life. Your life will be complete if you can master these 2 points of grammar. Are you ready? The grammar finished. Thank you. Goodbye. No, that's not really very useful. No one gives a shit if you get these words wrong. The articles of English are kind of actually disappearing. It's not going to make a big difference in your life. You're not going to get the job that you want. You're not going to get the boyfriend or the girlfriend or the husband or the wife that you want because your grammar is so good. Nobody has ever said, wow, great grammar. Sometimes they say, whoa, good English. Where did you study English? But that's because of your vocab. That's because of your pronunciation or your interesting accent. But that doesn't mean there isn't some useful grammar to study. And the grammar that I want to present to you is kind of halfway between grammar and vocab. It's a full set of phrases that you really do need to practice. And if you master these, this will improve your fluency. And that's really what you're after when you're studying grammar and vocab together. It's to improve your fluency. So here's the true useful grammar that I suggest. It's going to take a little while to explain. I'm going to do my best here. The 4 conditionals, sometimes called if clauses. A clause is a piece of a sentence. You have a word, you have a phrase, 2 or 3 words, then you have a clause, that's a half a sentence, then you have a full sentence. If clauses sometimes start with the word if. So here's the first one, the 0 conditional. I have to read from my mini script. If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. That starts with if. This uses the simple present. If plus present simple plus again present simple. This is used for facts and information about life that is always true. Let me give you another example. Sometimes it's important to put the if in the middle. Water freezes if you cool it to 0 degrees Celsius. That's a fact of nature. Let's try another one. I have to read from my script again. If it rains tomorrow, we won't go to the cinema. We'll go to the park. This is called the first conditional. If plus present simple plus will, which is a future tense. So this is about a likely future. It's most likely going to rain or maybe not rain tomorrow, and that will change your plans. You can put if in the middle of the sentence, or even when. We'll go to the pub tomorrow when we get paid. It's still a conditional. You have to get paid first, then you'll go to the pub. But it's a first conditional. It's very likely. All right, things get more challenging with the second conditional. This is for an unlikely future. It's for dreams and imagined situations, such as, if I had a lot of money, I'd buy a house. Or, I'd travel around the world if I had a lot of money. If plus past simple plus would. This one uses past simple, even though it's not a past tense. It's actually talking about the future, an unlikely future. We also have a different form for this using a funky tense called the subjunctive tense. If I were rich, I would buy a house in Vancouver. We don't use if I was rich. That's actually not the correct tense to use for this one. If I were rich, I would buy a house in Vancouver. All right, I'm throwing a lot of grammar points at you here, but these conditionals do come as a set. The 4 structures are very important to learn and master. They are used in speaking. Very, very common and important to use in speaking. Here's the last one. It's called the third conditional. Ooh, there's a pattern here. 0, first, second, third. Those fingers didn't match. All right, this is complicated. Got to read from my script again. If I had gone to bed earlier, I wouldn't have missed the train. If plus past perfect plus would plus have plus past participle. That's a lot of grammar. Let me give you another example. I wouldn't have been late for class if I hadn't been drinking. This is a really tricky conditional sentence. This one's about the past. If something in the past were different, it would affect the present or the future. Very powerful structure, a very powerful set of phrases. Remember, there's 4 different conditional or if clauses structures. The 0, the first, the second, and the third conditional. I don't want to throw all this grammar at you. There's so many things to think about in here. There's present simple, there's past simple, there's the subjunctive tense, there's past perfect, past participles. It's a lot of grammar. I could separate them. I could teach them all in order, proper grammar post, but I really don't like doing that. Search up these 4 conditionals. There's tons of other content all around the web. These are 4 sets of grammar and vocab phrases that are extremely useful to use. The conditionals, oh yeah, that's grammar. Useful grammar.